giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Yes, indeed. This is A to Z Sports Live, presented by Texas Family Fitness. And we are back on a joyful Monday. I told y'all, I said, after that ugly game, it just takes a couple days and then you'll feel grateful, right? You'll be fine. We're good. Everything's good. Cowboys are 8-4, trying to build off that momentum. We're going to talk about some of the things that we saw when I went into the lab. Actually, I'm going to bring you guys into the lab with me for our After Further Review show detailing the defense. And in the roundup, we'll talk about around the league. Some stuff went on yesterday around the NFC East. We didn't get no help, but one of the teams that the Cowboys play this week in the Washingtons, some irony went down in that game I want to talk to y'all about. And then, of course, if you want to join in, you absolutely can. You can jump in on the phone lines, 351-999-3787. I had to see something real quick. 351-999-3787 if you want to jump in. Here we go. Now I got the chat back up in here. Hey, guys, listen. I'm not really sure why y'all are not getting the notifications. YouTube can be funny, but we'll try to figure that out. But nonetheless, good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? Let me get into the chat, give some shout-outs. TC915, Frankie Franchise, my guy Fresh Fade, Mac Woodward, Mark Smith, Adrian, Padilla, B-Bird, James Simmons, Angel. Who else we got in here? Angelica, how are you? James Simmons, I already said the Alpha Mason. Jacob Trevino. Yeah, Jacob, I don't know why you're not getting the notifications. We'll try to figure that out. Miss Charlene. Who else we got up in here? Captain America. Salute to you, sir. Ninja Nuts in the building. Who and Nick Mims on DC4L. And over here on Facebook, Tim Garcia, Larry, Susan, my guy CJ Richards, Brandon Curette. Sorry if I said that wrong. Flo as well on YouTube. Keith Shep, Dave Von Walker, my guy. Dave Walker Vaughn, I should say. Curtis Wells on Facebook, 06050 on YouTube, Jason Wigley, and Miss Priscilla. David Jenkins, what's up, David? And many more that'll be coming through here, and it looks like my battery's about to die back there. About to die. Give me a second, y'all. Y'all listen to some beats while I get this real quick. All right, we back. That's live for y'all. That's what happens when you're live. But anyway, let's jump into everything for today's show. Like I said, we're going to jump into the lab. I want y'all to see how this defense played on Thursday. I almost said Sunday. On Thursday, I think you'll be encouraged, especially with some of the players that are coming back. I feel good about this stretch. I do. I watched Tyler Heineke yesterday. And he's the quarterback the Cowboys will be playing this week. And we'll break down the Washingtons probably tomorrow, Wednesday, or maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and then obviously concluded Friday with Okoye somewhere in between. But, yeah, I am too. I'm glad they won as well, Sully. For real. I don't want no excuses. I want Dallas to win this thing outright. I don't want it to be on the gift of a referee or some bullcrap call or some injury, even though there are injuries they're dealing with. But, I just want this to go down the right way. That's all. The right way. Reek coming in here talking about LVE. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's like on one of the first plays that I'm going to show y'all later on in the show. We'll talk about LVE. All right, but with that said, man, let's go ahead and get into the roundup. It'll be a fun one.
Look at them, it's about that time. It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Yes, indeed, the morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. If I can get this thing to sound. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right, Texas Family Fitness, where you can get your fitness, your solution for your fitness goals, whether it be weight loss, strengthening up, toning up, sports, or stress relief. Our friends over at Texas Family Fitness have everything you need, from state-of-the-art equipment, group classes, and experienced professional certified trainers. And if you have kids, I can always say they have a kids club you guys can check out and still get your gym on. So if you're looking to begin your fitness journey, do me a favor and head on over to any of the 9 locations in the DFW area or visit TexasFamilyFitness.com. First up, around the league. I wanted to go around the league because really mostly around the NFC, because there were some games yesterday that impacted the Cowboys in the standings or what have you, and almost went our way. There was the Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay fought with the Atlanta Falcons, eventually pulled away. They remain 1 game ahead of the Cowboys. They win 30-17. The Eagles just jumped on the Jets 33-18. That was the NFC East game. They stay in the race for the playoffs. I guess they're technically still in the race for the NFC East too, but I mean, Dallas shouldn't be worried about Philly. It's the football team, right? Technically, because they don't have a losing record. But we'll get there. Also around the NFC, you had the Rams smash the Jaguars, so the Rams stay in that hunt, right? They're stay 8-4 like the Cowboys. So if the Cowboys don't, for whatever reason, win the NFC East, which I doubt, then I'll have a hard time getting in the playoffs, period. How about the Niners and the Seahawks game? That was wild. I had fun watching that game. I thought the Niners were going to pull that off, but they fought a 6-6, and they're, again, in the hunt for that playoff spot. How do y'all feel about this 7th seed? I'm still not really feeling it all like that. I wish they would have kept 6, but I think you're going to get a bad team in the playoffs or a very middling team in the playoffs because of that extra wild card spot. More football is fun, but they said, hey, we're going to take away a bye week and we're going to reward a lesser team. I don't know about all that, man. I don't know if I'm feeling that. I kind of missed the top 2 teams get a bye, and then the rest just play it out. But nonetheless, that's why it's important to try to get that number 1 seed. Then, of course, like we talked about, the Washingtons etched out the Raiders 17-15 in a weird game, in a, we want to call it poetic justice for the Raiders, huh? Poetic justice, right? They, I don't know if they thought they had the referees from last week in the Cowboys Thanksgiving game, but they decide to try one of those, hey, just YOLO balls, those F-it balls, throw it up Derek Carr with the 15 seconds left or whatever it was, and look for a pass interference. And it really should have been a pass interference, but they didn't get it. And honestly, I had a big old smile on my face. And some people were like, well, Sky, that hurts the Cowboys. Man, I guess it hurts the Cowboys. I get it. You want the Washington team to lose and things like that, and I was rooting for them to lose. But half of me was like, damn, that's a clear pass interference. He pulled my man's jersey. And the other half of me was like, that's exactly what y'all asses get. Seriously. You reap what you sow. You used up all your pass interferences and bullcrap penalties last week, and you couldn't get any this week. And how ironic. Every team that seems to have beaten the Cowboys this year, the next week they seem to look like trash. And I don't even know what the Chiefs did, but I do know the Raiders look like crap. I do know the Broncos have looked like crap after beating the Cowboys. So you get up for Dallas, right? Everybody wants to get up for Dallas. It's the Super Bowl when you play Dallas. but that next week you look like trash. Stephen White said the dude had the jersey. Yeah. It was clear as day. And then Collins. Like I said, I went into the lab. Yeah. And looked at the offense side of the ball, looked at the defense side of the ball. Today, we're going to talk about both, but we're going to show you a lot of the defense. And I watched Lyell Collins, and guys, he played really well. In fact, he was our best offensive lineman on the team on Sunday or on Thursday. And once again, Lyell Collins was our best run blocker. That seems to be a theme here, but you wouldn't be able to tell that due to the results, right? Because the Cowboys' offensive run game hasn't been the same. But it is not due to Lyell. Lyell has been holding his own in the run game pretty damn well. I mean, and I know my guy Reek's in here. Reek, you said you wanted some nasty. I keep telling you, bro, go watch the tape. Lyell has been moving human beings, as my guy Vach would say, with ease. He's been dump trucking dudes. He's been nasty over there, but the run game and collectively has not been. And next week we get Terrence Steele back, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with that line, because I was in a Twitter space, a very dope Twitter space this past, I think it was right after the game the next day, and we talked about what we wanted to see on that line. And I think we've got 3 games now, Connor McGovern. And I just don't think Connor McGovern is. I think Connor Williams, if you put the 3 games, look at Connor McGovern, they're not even close to Connor Williams. Not even close. So I'm looking to see what they do there. I would rather put Connor Williams back in the ballgame, ladies and gentlemen. Connor McGovern is struggling as a run blocker, and it's clear as day. But for Lyell Collins, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him and Terrence Steele. Y'all know me. I've been saying I feel like we got 2 starting right tackles. I'm good with either or, but I think Lyell deserves to get his name throw his name in that hat for next Sunday. I do. LC gave up, 1 pressure on the day. He was part of that blitz sack confusion though, where they blitzed 2 cornerbacks from the one side and dropped 2. It was a great play call, so he was a part of that. But Cam Jordan was held to 1 tackle. If y'all know who Cam Jordan is, go look up Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, perennial Pro Bowler. 1 tackle, 1 pressure. He snuffed him out all day. But yeah, we'll get back to the line talk, because I want to hear what you guys got to say about the line talk. I want y'all to call in, and I'll read the chat. And then finally, Jerry Jones on the radio, I think it was Friday, he did confirm that Neville Gallimore will be back in the lineup. From 105 to the Fan, he said he's going to make his season debut next game, December 12th at Washington. It's a real good chance that Randy Gregory also will return. From what I was hearing, it sounded like Randy wanted to come back sooner, but because he was put on injured reserve, he had to wait the 3 games. So for the first time next week, we could be looking at D-Law, Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, and Osa Odigizua. For the first time. I love to see it. Reek says we didn't score a touchdown on this side. What is that? See, that's how I know you ain't watching the tape. That's why I always tell people, go watch the tape. He's only 1 man on that side, speaking of Lyell Collins. He can't control the whole entire run game himself. Yeah. Lyell played very well, man. Anybody with a brain that watches film would tell you that. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that he's not been the problem. In the last game, at least, he was not the problem at all. Your problem, bruh? Your problem was left guard, and your center wasn't all that great in that game either. And then your play calling wasn't all that great. And then your running back is playing on one leg. So it's just a collective issue of things in the run game. And that's where I want to start. Where do you guys want to see this run? Where do you guys want to see this, not run game, this offensive line go? Where do you want to see it go? Because they have to pick a 5 now. We got 5 games left to the playoffs. And you cannot keep doing this shuffle in, shuffle out. You can't. You can't be Cupid shuffling the offensive line. You got to find. Man, we talked about this in that space. The reason why it's important is because the guy next to you needs to know what I can make up for and what I don't have to. And my offensive coordinator needs to know where can I run or how can I run or what play call can I call? Will this guy hold up? Will he not? Et cetera, et cetera. This offensive line has not, in my opinion, since the first 6 weeks of the season, have not gotten any type of rhythm in regards to the personnel. So they got to figure it out. I said this, and I'll keep saying it. I really don't care what they do, except for maybe putting Connor Williams. I kind of want Connor Williams back in the game. But figure it out and roll with it. You figure out whatever the hell 5 you want to do, and let's roll with it. Because you're only going to get your quarterback in trouble. You're only going to hamper your run game if you continue to swap guys in and swap guys out. Special says he wants Smith, Lyell, Tyler, Martin, and Steele. That's the best line we can put out there. I said this to my guy. I don't think they're going to put Lyell over there this season. But if they do, just roll with it. But for next year, I could absolutely see that be the line. Dallas Cowboys diehard says put Williams and Collins in next year. Move LC to left guard. Literally what I was just saying, right? That's I could see that being the situation, and that's why I said earlier in the year I wish this kind of happened later. That way, it's something that you could think about doing for the future. As for right now, if they did it, I'm cool with it. But I feel like Connor Williams, I said this before, he was playing good ball. It wasn't his play. It was the penalties. And you wonder if you say, all right, man, I benched you for 3 games. You learned your lesson. And let's see what happens. Because his reach blocking is better than Connor McGovern. He gets to the second level better than Connor McGovern. He crosses the face of these 3 techs better than Connor McGovern. And he's not perfect. But he's just better than Connor McGovern. And we wanted to see it. I wanted to see it because I was tired of the penalties too. Well, we seen it. I synced it. And I don't think he's better than him. Aisha said, I agree. Chemistry and timing matters within an offensive line. Absolutely. It's weird to me, especially with a $40 million quarterback. Our goal should be to protect him. Precisely. Adrian says, since this was a mini bye, whatever lineup we see should be the line moving forward. Definitely want to see Connor back in there. Let's see what he does. Sacks and turnovers are going to go up drastically. Okay, you're talking about the defense, Jason. Okay. Big Gooch. Now that's a name right there. Big Gooch says, put Williams back at left guard and roll with the original starting 5. How about that, Big Gooch? Can I see the starting 5 at least one time this? We have not seen the original starting 5 one time this year. Not once, if I'm not mistaken. Let me think. Nope. Not one time have we seen Smith, Williams, Biadasz, Martin, Lyell, the original starting 5 going into the season. Not once. And it looks like we probably won't see it unless something comes out today, which the Cowboys, don't put it past them. The Cowboys might make a move. They don't really say anything to us until the press conferences and things like that. Broadus usually can get some things out of people. So if there's no Mike McCarthy presser today, I would listen for Brian Broadus on 105 through the Fan to see if he has some type of nugget, because he's the one who thought that Connor McGovern was going to play in that Chiefs game, which hindsight 2020 with Smith out, I wouldn't have did that. I just wouldn't did it due to the communication issues. So speaking of that, communication issues, let's kind of talk about some of the things I saw with that offense, yo. I went back, and it was confirmed to me one of the major issues of the offense in that Saints game was communication. And this is now becoming a reoccurring theme, isn't it? The communication between Dak and the receivers, the communication between the offensive line, it's just been a major issue of late. And in my opinion, one of the biggest issues is the communication. If you go back, you'll see CeeDee Lamb a ton, just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing type of thing. And then he'll get off the ball and nothing works out, or something may work out. You know, Dak Prescott was throwing some darts in that game too. Or you'll see the receivers, some of these routes, not that they run bad routes, just the play design, which I hate. It's no one's getting open early. And then when someone finally breaks open, the line will break down. But I think coming out of that game, the worst thing besides the run game, the run game is a whole separate issue. In the pass game is communication. They have to figure that out because I believe, go look at the schedule, the Cowboys have 2 home games left. Or is it 1? Y'all gonna tell me before I even peep game. But I believe they only have 1 home game left. 2, I'm sorry. 1, 2. Okay. 2 home games left in the season. So most of their games are going to be played on the road in hostile environments. You know, Washington, you got to go to New York, and you got to go to Philly, all NFC East games. And you know, teams like the Eagles, if they happen to not be in it anymore, are going to try to play spoiler for you if it's even put in that situation. And of course, you know, Washington is still going to be fighting for the division this coming week. And then the Giants are going to definitely want to play spoiler, even though Giants kind of trash. But nonetheless, communication has been a problem. It's been a problem. I thought separation was a bit of a problem, which hence is why you saw a ton of these tight window throws, and why I kept looking over to Jesse during the game and saying, man, we got to figure a way to shake these guys loose. You can't keep on banking on all these little tight window throws. At some point, tip ball, intercept, something like that's going to happen. And then you saw it when, you know, Dak got smacked in the face. He had 2 guys around the receiver. I mean, I think he was looking for CD Lamb. It would have been a tough throw, nonetheless. You know, broadcast view, I thought he was going to be open. The bird's eye view, he would have got open, but he would have had to just throw it deep, and then nobody gets it or CD Lamb gets it. It would have been a tough throw. And he told you, he even said it. He was like, you know, I was being greedy, you know, and that's one of the things that Dak Prescott, I think in these last 4 games has to do is not be greedy. And when teams play him the way they played him, and it's not the way that the Broncos and the Chiefs played him. It wasn't at all. And we talked about this going into the game. You had to be patient, and I don't believe that the offense was patient enough in regards to how they called the plays. And then Dak sometimes wants to score 14 points on one play. He got to work on his patience. He has to work on his patience. Just saying in here. Jacob said it's crazy how the schedule always ends up with us in the division game we fighting with to make the playoffs or seeding. Well, Jacob, the scheduling now is you play your division rival at the end of the season. Now, it's a matter of home and away, but for the last, I don't know how many years, it's been that way. I guess you got a Reyes. Are you talking about Dak using his legs? Because I see you say something about he's gifted with wheels or something like that. There it is right there. Dak has to be more of a scrambler. I mean, one of the more frustrating things this season, and even when he was doing well, is Dak doesn't like to scramble. I shouldn't say scramble, because technically scrambling means moving around and things like that. He's done that. I mean running. And I don't want Dak Prescott to be Lamar Jackson, but very first play of the game. Now, bird's eye view showed me a different point of it. I thought he had at least a good 7 to 10 yards to scramble. He probably would have only got like 3 or 4, but 3 or 4 in the first play of the game would have been better than 0, which the incomplete pass, which if I could complain one more time. First play of the game would come out in a play action, max protect. We sent 2 wide receivers into 8 people in coverage, 7 or 8 people in coverage. I mean, what are we doing, Kellen? Against a team notoriously that plays cover 2 with their safeties back there and their corners manning up, you sent 2 dudes into 8 guys on the first play. That should have told me right there we're going to have an issue. And we did. We did have an issue. Now, you couldn't see that on the broadcast view. They don't really show you everything. But there's a lot. The way the flow of the play calling went was so frustrating, man. It was so frustrating rewatching it. Just be real with you. All right, man. 351-999-3787 is the phone line. If you guys want to call in, talk a little bit more about the O before I move over to the defensive side of the ball and we take a look at that film. Let me see here. Stephen White says, after seeing a rookie quarterback skipping through RD, I agree. Dak should have went lanes are there. Oh, lanes are there. Yeah, he could have took off in that first possession. Fresh believes that they're saving the Dak running plays for the playoffs. I wish I could share your optimism, Fresh. I wish I could share it. I gotta see it to believe it. I feel like we have fully immersed into a drop back passing offense. Nothing creative. Play action. Sure, we'll do some play action off of it. And a lot of the times over the last 2 weeks, that play action boot or that play action on the move worked. It worked. And it feels like sometimes when something works for Kellen, he'll say, oh, that worked. I'm going to put this in a tuck for 2 weeks. Don't do that. If it worked, keep using it, in my opinion, unless it's one of those trick plays. But I don't know why he does that. Is it being cued? I don't know. But I watched the Saints go to a play that worked successfully about 3 or 4 different times, and they just kept hammering it home. And one of those plays was that over route that they scored the touchdown on Anthony Brown. And again, when I talk about the D, it really wasn't on Anthony Brown. That was, for me, in my opinion, Jaron Kearse should have definitely played back more to give AB space. They played that bunch on purpose to get AB mixed up in traffic. Ran into Jaron Kearse. My guy got wide open. But later in the game, it broke open again. But Taysom Hill. And then a couple other times, AB played it real well. Nonetheless, and you saw him run the same play with Taysom Hill too, running the ball. Because they understand if something's working, I'm going to keep using it. Where I feel like if something's working with Kellen, he kind of says, all right, I'll put this in a tuck for next week. It's really strange. Jacob said, don't save Dak's legs, save Zeke's. Y'all want to talk about that? Yeah. He needs to sit down. Daywalker Vaughn, do you think we need to sit Zeke and save him from himself? At this point, let me get a tally real quick, because I need to know from Cowboys Nation how y'all feel about this. Should the Cowboys sit Ezekiel Elliott for a couple of games? Yes or no? Because I thought I was under the assumption that it's a no-brainer they need to sit him, because he's literally hurt and playing hobbled. That's the worst part. Everybody play hurt. He playing injured, and he's playing hobbled, and it's affecting the Cowboys in a negative way. So I thought it was a no-brainer. You don't roll out somebody that is hurt and playing hurt and hurting you in the process. So let me see what you got to say about this. I mean, this looks like a clean sweep of yes, 100%, absolutely, rest him. I no question about it. You need to sit him down. Zeke needs to sit down for at least this week. Steve, okay, here we go. I figured it'll be a few no's. No, just limit him, keep him in game speed. But limiting him, I mean, technically he was limited. Zeke hasn't played over 75% of the snaps since like week 6. Zeke hasn't got 20 carries in I don't know how long. I just don't even having him out there running. If you give him the ball 10 times, those are 10 reps, 10 beatings, 10 cuts, and then he's pass blocking for 15 other. That's 25, 30, 40 plays. He's in there unnecessarily. And then there's times where he has to go out and actually run her out, which is criminal at this point. I don't see the gain. I don't see the gain at all. And if it's all because he can pass block, then like I said, then god dang it, use him as a 6th tackle. Bring him in on obvious passing downs. Stop doing this. And if Nick is watching right now, Nick always looks over to me. And if y'all don't know who Nick is, he is A to Z Sports great salesman. Sales guy. I shouldn't say salesman. He's our marketing guy. And we're at the games. As soon as he sees Zeke go, we go empty and Zeke is out wide, he'll look over to me and just kind of laugh because he knows I hate that formation. And the reason why I hate it is because it makes your protection vulnerable, and Zeke is not going to get the ball. He can't run a damn route. He's not featured. And the one time they did look at his ass was the dumbest time I think I've ever seen it happen. 2nd and 7, he runs a quick slant on Marshawn Lattimore on one leg. I mean.
What the hell is even that?
So maybe not put him out there. Just keep him in. You want Zeke to play. Just use him as a 6 tackle to pass protect on 10 to 15 plays. I think they should sit his ass down. Y'all agree? I can't stand that formation, fam. Can't stand it. I don't think anything good ever comes out of it unless it's a screen opposite way. Because you know what Zeke does? Zeke will be facing this way, right? This is the line. And then, and he'll just turn. And he'll just stand there. What is that doing? I digress. Iceberg says, I know you hated it. I digress. Yo, so I was watching Adrian Peterson yesterday. At first, I was like, man, AP. Bringing no AP. After seeing Zeke hobble, I kind of wish they kind of had AP. Kind of going back on that, yo. I'm kind of going back. And it's not because I think AP is, or AD, AP, whatever you call him. Adrian Peterson. It's just that he's a guy that can give you that power aspect to the game. He's a guy that can blitz pick up. He's a veteran. I'm just saying. But I'll leave it at that. Look, Troy, like, stop it. I know, Troy. I'm just saying, man. I watch my guy 21 just out here hobbling around, poor little tink, and it just made me feel bad for him. He wants to be out there. He wants to be the tough teammate. But give me somebody healthy. It's the running back position, man. It ain't rocket science. Just be healthy. And I feel like something productive can happen. He is one of my favorite players. Look, Adrian Peterson, one of my favorite players. I wanted him to finish his career in Dallas by hook or crook. So when they didn't go get him, I was like, all right, whatever, he washed. But then I was watching him, and I'm like, but I mean, he got 2 good legs. I mean, I quit. Triple D said, what about Clement? You ain't got a choice. I mean, do you have a choice? Triple D. I would use Clement. Real quick, let me see, make sure that this is everything's running right over here. Get y'all bear with me. We're about to get into the lab in a second. I just want to make sure I got these lines set up correctly. Yep, we do. All right. AJ says Jerry keeping Elliott out there like they did with Smith. And his hurt shoulder, hoping the defense respects the fact he's out there. Well, isn't that kind of what I was kind of joking about before? Why would I respect Ezekiel Elliott on one leg? Hell, you want to keep it a bean. 2 legs. No, I'm just playing. But no, with 1 leg, I'm not putting 8 in the box on Ezekiel Elliott. And that's what the Saints decided to do. They decided to beat the Cowboys with 7 in the box. Occasionally drop somebody down. And the way this offense is set up, and that's why I'm kind of a little questioning Kellen a little bit more, because I don't think the blueprint is necessarily, we're going to put 8 in the box and we're going to single up the guys and play physical at the line of scrimmage. It's, can I beat you with 7? Because if I can beat you with 7, then I don't have to worry about single coverage on the outside, which means I forced Dak Prescott to make tight window throws all game long. And I don't care what quarterback you are. If I could play sticky coverage on you or have guys floating around the windows and force your Q to throw the ball 40 times a game and have to make a ton of tight window throws, at some point, if you don't have a scheme that can combat that, and I don't think Kellen has found an answer besides, hey, we're just going to run the ball against the light box, then you better hope and pray a mistake is not made, because that's what teams want you to do that play that way, right? Matriculate down the field, throw in highly contested areas, and make you have to make precision throws throughout the day and not wide open throws. B Bird, you already on the line, I think. B Bird, I had to reset the line. Something was going on. But what's up, brother?
Oh, nothing much. That's my first time calling. How you doing this morning? How was your weekend, brother?
It was good, man. It was good. It was nice to kind of just relax a little bit on a Sunday and not have to stress about the Cowboys, you know?
Yeah, I just watched the red zone all day, man. I didn't concentrate on one team. All right, we didn't get any help from anyone else in the NFC East. But one thing too, I wasn't even going to bring this up, but all the clamoring about the Cowboys. Look what division they're playing in. I guess they'll shut that up now because these guys they're playing Philadelphia and Washington. Washington's are they're playing pretty good football right now, competent football that is. So we won't be hearing that. One of the things with you brought up Zeke. One of the things I want to say is that I think me, you, and most agree that Zeke should probably sit a couple of games.
Sure.
And so here's the deal, you two A to Z Sports listeners. This is all politics, actually, and it's political from Zeke's standpoint. I think I've told the story before, but Emmitt Smith played a lot of consecutive games for the Cowboys, and they said, Emmitt, you was a warrior. You went when you were hurt. You went when you wasn't feeling well. You went. And he said, what made you keep going? He said, well, because I knew that I think it was Sherman Williams was behind me. He said, I didn't want them to get a glimpse of how somebody else could run behind this offensive line. And the best way to do that is to keep myself in that position. They'll never see it. And so, this is a dog-eat-dog, sport, man. And so I think Zeke is saying, hey, I don't want them to see what Pollard can do for a full game or 2 games. And because if they do, then that makes me, replaceable. And the same thing, if you really think about it, the same thing happened with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They saw a little bit, coincidentally, it was against the Cowboys. They saw what he can do. And he brought them back, but they didn't win. But it was like, okay, we got something. And so, they moved on from him. And so that's what Zeke is doing, But Jerry, deal is I paid this guy this amount of money, and I am still trying to prove in this league that I am a football person and my personnel decisions are great. And to do that, I'm going to get this guy that I paid a lot of money out there on the field come hell or high water. Yeah. And that has to be it, because if you look at it from a purely football standpoint, there's no way in the world that you put that guy out there. So that's why it can't be from a full football standpoint. It has to be from something else, and that's what it's deriving from. Zeke don't want to come out that lineup because he's afraid of what Pollard will do, and Jerry's trying to justify the amount of money that he put into him.
Man, listen, I got to give you a clue, Bond. I mean, listen, I'm not a conspiracy nut or anything like that, but I feel like that makes the most sense. Because what are we hearing, B-Bird, from Jerry Jones for the last, 3 weeks when he gets on the horn? We got to get the run game going, and Ezekiel Elliott's going to play. He's going to be a heavy part of this rotation. Like, why, Jerry? Why? He's hurt. He's hurt. Yeah. But I need to justify me paying this hurt running back when a ton of people told you paying a running back on the second contract after 17,000 carries was not smart. Not because he's not a good player, but because they break down. And I don't care how much you love Ezekiel Elliott, what's happening and what has me concerned moving forward is he's breaking down. Not that he's washed. Yeah. He's just breaking down.
Yeah, I think we've seen, to be honest with you, and I am still a big Zeke fan, but I think we may have seen the best of him. And I think it's just the life cycle of a running back at this point in time.
Right. Yeah.
So I got one thing that I did notice, man, and you brought it up, and I appreciate you doing it. Another thing I appreciate you doing, man, I don't have the all-22, and to be honest with you, that's the only way you can really look at line play with the all-22, just seeing what they were trying to do with the play and who missed what or whatever. So I do appreciate your feedback because you were telling me about the Connors, and I couldn't tell if he did bad or not, but I do trust in your all-22 film work, and if it's time for Williams to come back, we got to get this thing going in these last few games.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what – oh, go on.
No. I was just going to say, he hasn't been better than Connor Williams. McGovern has not been better than Connor Williams.
I don't fault them for trying, though, man. I'd rather them try and see what happens. If it doesn't happen, go back the other way, but continue to try to improve the team. I definitely appreciate – hats off to them for that. But we was talking about that tight coverage, man, and I swear I was thinking the same thing. Even when we were making plays, wow, the Saints guys were right next to us, and I think it's a contrast to earlier in the year when we were 6-1 and rolling. Man, it seemed like guys were wide open. But now it seems like guys are sticking to us, and we can't live in that lane, man. We got to find a way to get more separation. And I don't know if it's just a snowball with the running game. And I just don't know what's going on with our offense right now. But I did want to say that that I do see them hanging tight with us right now. And just tell me a little bit of what you've seen in the All-22 and maybe what they're doing to us. And I'm going to get off and listen, man. I appreciate talking to you again this morning, Scott.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you as always. What's happening, I think, with the offense, again, there's a lack of creativity in adjusting, which is crazy. The first 7 weeks, I'm like, man, Kellen is adjusting with the best of them. From Kellen Moore. If you go watch the passing offense at the beginning of the season and the run game, by the way, again, I was on that space. I specifically went and watched some of the run game from earlier. There was a lot more designed runs outside, a lot more pulls, a lot more pre-snap motion. It was just more creativity. I feel like the more the season went on, the more Kellen Moore kind of was just like, we got 15 plays this week. That's what we're going to run. On the road, and we talked about this, squad. Did we not talk about this last week? There's something about Kellen on the road where he clamps up. He's just not this free Kellen anymore. And I wonder if he doesn't believe in the communication, right? Where it's important for Dak to be communicating to the receiver so he can audible, or the communication with the offensive line when you got to do pre-snap things. But it's just very lazy. It's just there's nothing to combat the coverage. There's no scheme beaters. It's literally line up, you run your route, you beat your man, and that's that. And when a team has guys like a Marshawn Lattimore and guys like a Marcus Williams and a really good secondary and really good defense, if you're going to be basic, I mean, unless you got a healthy Amari Cooper out there to route you up all game, which wasn't the case, it's going to be tight. Michael Gallup's not a route runner. CeeDee Lamb is really good in the slot, but he had to combat with guys over top of him and guys in front of him. And if that's the case, Dak has to put it. And I said it before, if Kellen's not going to help you, if your offensive line is sketchy, if your run game is not good, then it falls on you, Dak. Every single one of these throws you have to make. If you do not, the Cowboys are not going to win the game. That's just how I see it. Unless the defense does what it did, and I want to talk about that after this call. Hold on real quick. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What it is, what it do? What's going on, good brother?
Ain't much, dog. Man, you remember I called a couple weeks ago saying that we needed to go to arrest Zeke a while back because you knew that he was being sluggish and slow on the field.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's necessarily good for him to be in trying to go and pick up blitzes with his knee like that, because that's more of the impact. You'll see more impact doing that because you're crashing with defensive linemen, linebackers all the time. And I don't think that he should be necessarily playing.
No, you're right.
So my thing is, I think like when Rico Dowdle went down, I think that really hurt us bad because you remember he was playing really good in the preseason.
That's a stretch, bro. I like Rico Dowdle, but I mean, the Cowboys are 6-1 running the ball on everybody without Rico Dowdle.
So I'm saying like this: if Rico Dowdle was playing as good as he was playing in the preseason, do you think they would have set Zeke down already to let him heal?
They can go get a Rico Dowdle if they wanted to. I mean, just be honest with you. I think this is a case of Cowboys fans we're a little bit overvaluing Rico. I like Rico, but I mean he's not the difference. They could have got a Rico Dowdle if they wanted to. I think it's more so exactly what B. Bird was saying. Politics and Zeke not wanting to sit down because he knows if I sit down and they go off, I'm going to be looked at differently.
Man, it is what it is, though, man. If you playing hurt, then I mean, you basically hurting the team if you can't really going to be out there. You're basically like this. The defense is a pack of lions. He's like an impala that's limping around that's already been attacked. And they're just, like, taking their bits at him right now. And it just – what? Did I make a bad analogy?
No. It's a funny one because it's true. I mean, I watch a lot of those videos where you get, like, an impala who already got bit by, like, an alligator. And then once he gets out the water, you're like, all right, I made it. Psych, it's a whole bunch of hyenas just sitting right over there waiting for you, limping around. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's just like that's literally what I think every time I'm out there watching him. It's like, dang, man, like Zeke, man, like, bro, like, I know you don't want to lose your spot, dude. I know you don't want to lose rest, but how much do you really care for the team, you know? Let Tony want to get his shine on right now. I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt us. It's going to only help the team. And then when the postseason comes, you'll be healthier for the games like we got to go. We're probably going to have to go see a Green Bay on the road or Tampa Bay or Arizona.
What's
We're
your
going to
name?
have to see one of those three
What's
teams.
your name, brother? Lamont, you in chat, you guys remember in Hard Knocks, one of the episodes, Zeke was being held out, and it was a conversation between Stephen Jones and Mike McCarthy on the side. And Stephen Jones was like, yeah, well, we got to, monitor his usage. And then Mike McCarthy had a press conference, and he was like, yeah, it's a long season. We got to make sure that, we're not overusing him, et cetera, et cetera. Well, damn it. If that's how you felt then, why wouldn't you feel like that right now when the dude is hobbled? So there's just, and that's why it makes me go back to what B. Bird said. I don't even know if this is coming from Mike. This might be coming from Jerry. And if you want to put a tinfoil hat, I'll go find me a tinfoil hat and I'll put it on. But Mike said he wanted to monitor his usage. Mike was monitoring his usage during the season. It was TP was getting a lot of the carries. He gets hurt. You're very cautious with all these other injuries. Everybody else, very cautious, right? We're going to hold Dak out. We're going to play mind games. We're going to hold so-and-so out for 10 weeks. We're going to hold so-and-so out. It's been really good. But for some reason, you just can't sit Zeke's ass down. I think it's coming from the top, Lamont.
You sit Dak down? I don't get that. Why would you sit Dak down, but you wouldn't sit Zeke down?
And don't tell me he's more important than Dak. That ain't true. We saw that last year.
Exactly, and you set down Amari, you set down all these other guys, but you won't sit down Zeke. That's beyond me, dude.
Beyond me, man. Hey, Lamont, I appreciate the call, brother. I'm gonna go ahead real quick, and we're gonna start this. We're gonna jump into the lab on the defensive side. So stick around for that, bro.
Yes, sir.
He ain't lying. Did y'all peep that though? In the off season, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna monitor Zeke," and then this happens. This isn't monitoring. This is malpractice. It's malpractice. I missed some donations, and I apologize, guys. I'm about to get to them real quick, and then we're going to look into this defense. Defense is trending up. I truly believe that this defense is trending up, and they're going to be getting people back. And I might say some things. That might make y'all say, well, Scott, what are you are you being a homer? Nah, I'm not being a homer. I'm dead serious how I feel about this, about what could be from this defense. All right. Okay. A couple of them I missed. All right. Here we go.
Super chat.
Earlier, Tom Downey Burner account says, is our coaching staff back in the building now? That's a good question, Tom. I would say stay tuned. Probably going to be a press conference here in the next hour or so. And then obviously Jerry, I think, comes on tomorrow or something like that.
Super chat.
You go. Thank you for the donation. He says, you are absolutely right. Rest him no matter what he says. We really need him in the playoffs. Yeah, you got to save him from himself. And then
Super chat.
Chef Mac with the $1 donation. Thank you, Chef Mac. All right, here's what we're going to do, folks. I am going to set up. We're going to jump into the film room. Let me set that up real quick for y'all. We're going to take a look at some tape from the defense and why I thought that they played. Excuse me. Why I thought they played very well. My bad if there was an echo right there, y'all. I thought they played really well, honestly. Even given some of their problems containing Taysom Hill in the ground game. Not in the air. In the ground game. Hop back into the chat here. Tom says, this is a great show. Same management that kept Garrett for 10 years while I took the Giants less than 2. ain't lying. Let me know if that music too loud for y'all. Turn that one off. All right, guys. So yesterday, I found, well, not yesterday, but over the weekend watching the tape, I found that the defense played pretty damn good. I know one of the things that B. Bird was worried about was the discipline on the edges. And I thought having number 90 back played a hell of a, look at this, man. Played a major role in containing those edges. Had that been 59 or 92, B. Bird, I might have been a little bit worried. But I think having him back allowed him to do that. Now, here's what pissed me off. And if y'all see me after the first possession, I was like, I see you defense, except you, LVE. How does LVE not make this play? Can someone tell me how LVE does not make this play? All right, I'm done. I just wanted to get that out. But I thought the defensive line won a lot at the line of scrimmage in the run game. And I'm not talking about the run game when it came to Taysom Hill's design runs. I thought Taysom Hill's design runs were always going to be tough. But I love this play. Take a look at young Micah the Lion, right? How he just beats Ruiz. Now, he was crushing these guards all freaking game. But also look at number 97, Osa Odigizua, with the hustle play, man. I'm telling you, getting all these players back is only going to help. Osa Odigizua comes in, lays the boom. It's only going to help Osa, in my opinion, y'all, moving forward, because he's clearly hit some type of rookie wall. And with that rookie wall comes, you're not able to play 110% for most of the snaps. You're going to get Hill back. You're going to get Neville Gallimore back. Those 10 to 15 snaps that he plays, if it is 10 to 15, is only going to make them more impactful. I promise you that. Let's take a look at this one here. What we got here going on? Oh, this is just Micah Parsons just fighting through it. You know, I mean, Micah, I don't even know. I don't have the words anymore, man. He was being held all game. If that's not a hold, I don't know what is. Micah just keeps fighting. When he says he's a lion, he really is a lion. And I think it was Michael Gelkin that came up with a pretty cool name. They called him the Lion Backer. The Lion Backer. And again, Micah playing that spy technique. Watch how fast he just cuts off that lane to Taysom Hill. Not too many quarterbacks got the speed of Taysom. He just cuts it straight off. This dude is ridiculous. Now, watch, I'm just going to let this play. Watch this Houdini stuff he done pulled off. Whoop. Oh, my God. This dude is special, man. This dude is absolutely special. Number 76 has no idea what hit him. First of all, he fakes the step inside to get his feet to come up so that he can dip up under number 76. Watch this dip. My hands up on my hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. And 76 is like, how in the hell did he pull that one off? And this is Micah in coverage where he's beat. I mean, right here he's beat, but he has the speed to make up to get to Kenny Stills and get the tip ball interception for J-Ron Curse, who I think is in the runnings to be signed back, or at least needs to be. But just a great play by Micah Parsons. And Micah was getting a little tired in this game, but again, I think he's become a better coverage player. Even when the ball doesn't go his way, you'll notice that he's still in position to make a play if need be. Oh, this is just a good hit by AB. Hey, y'all, we got to give AB a little love from that game. I know he gave up the touchdown, but Anthony Brown actually played really damn well. He led the team in tackles. He had 2 or 3 pass breakups. He was in position a lot of the night, aside from that touchdown pass. But I thought he played really well, y'all. I do. Oh, and this is the hold on Mike I wanted y'all to see. Now watch. He knew he was holding. He looked back, waiting for the flag. Chat, how many times this year have we seen Micah Parsons be held like this? How many times? What are you watching, ref? And this was a first down. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they went down and got points on this drive or something like that. So these are the things that we don't really see live until you go back and you watch it again. You're like, come on, man. And this is another good play by Anthony Brown, playing that over route really well. This is the play I was saying earlier where he played it better this time go around than he did last time. Thought he played a good game, y'all. I did. And this is just Micah being Micah. At this point, why do quarterbacks think they can get away from him? I mean, watch how, first of all, he reads the fake. He reads the fake play action immediately. B-Bird, you talked about keeping the edge, right? Had this been maybe 59, he probably crashes down, but he doesn't. Not only does he read it immediately, he did a subtle hesitation to let the running back run past him so he doesn't run into him without losing any speed. I mean, dude's just different. Dude's just different. Oh, and this was a play. Actually, this is a good play by both of our defensive ends, but I still think this was a fumble, y'all. I mean, it won't go down as a fumble, but I believe this was a fumble in my opinion. Number 92, Dorrance Armstrong and DeMarcus Lawrence meet at the quarterback. DA has some good pass rushes. He has some really good pass rushes in this game. I'll still go on record, don't say that's a fumble. Let's check out what we got here. Oh, this is the interception? Yeah, this is the interception by DeMonte KZ. You know KZ was hyped. KZ been struggling for a minute. He been struggling for a minute. He finally got one. This is big boy Carlos Watkins going for the... Hey, look. When this happened, I was so hyped for Carlos Watkins. A defensive lineman shouldn't be having hands like that. He shouldn't be having hands like that. Then he took off on Taysom. Taysom was done. Get off. Touchdown. Yeah, these are the 3 interceptions, I believe, that ended the game. And it really should have been 4 straight interceptions. Some people can't tackle. And I believe Trayvon Diggs talked about playing the 7 route underneath and you get interception. I forget he had this cool little saying that went with it, but he played that really well. I worry, though, next week. Actually, no, there is no their tight end is out, so maybe it's not going to be an issue. But I just wanted to take y'all in the lab real quick before I jump back into the phone lines so y'all could see a little bit what I liked about this defense. I just thought that they fought back, came back from a bad game against the Raiders. Granted, this is a depleted team, right? So you shouldn't expect to see a Taysom Hill throw all over the field on you. But I wanted to see how the guys played up front. I wanted to see how the cornerbacks played on the back end in regards to man coverage, not necessarily zone, because next week they're going to be tested. Granted, Tyler Heineke ain't Derek Carr, but he can make some throws, and Scary Terry's out there, Samuels, things like that. Cowboys caught a break, though. Logan Thomas is done for the year. Unfortunately, nasty, ugly injury with the ACL. But they caught a huge break because Logan Thomas is a problem at tight end. So we'll break all that down next week, and this week, and we'll get into it. But nah, man. Yeah, Logan Thomas is out. CJ, you know I know about that. Put my hands up on my hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Yeah, he had number 76 lost, man. Absolutely lost. So Ricky Seals-Jones is their backup. They had a different backup in there yesterday for whatever reason, but I did like Ricky Seals-Jones, but he is what he is. He's not anything to sweat. I mean, tight ends are tight ends. You're kind of relying on everything else around you, but Ricky ain't Logan. I'll tell you that much. He ain't Logan. All right, let's get back to the phone lines, man. My guy, Mel. What's up, Mel?
What's up, Big Sky? What's going on, man? It's still Victory Monday, although the game was last week, but we still gonna do it like it's Victory Monday.
Okay.
But man, I'm excited for this week, man. In my opinion, this is the biggest game of the season, and my reasoning for that is I feel like Washington is on a roll. I know Cowboy fans don't want to swallow that, but Washington is on a roll right now. I think they don't want 4 in a row. Is it 4 in a row or 3 in a row?
4 in a row. They started off 2-6.
They don't want 4 in a row.
6.
Yeah, they want 4 in a row. They beat Tampa Bay coming in there. They They beat. Yeah, I mean everybody else was kind of in, but you know it 4 in a row is 4 in a row.
It's 4 in a row. That's right.
So you know we coming in there this week. To me, in my opinion, this game, and I know we keep saying it like every week, but this game is gonna be. Come on, Dak. We need that old thing back. Like
we need the offense, to get back to what it was.
Yeah, we need the offense as a whole. The offense as a whole. I won't just say Dak. I'll say the offense as a whole.
Oh no, yeah, the offense is broke, Mel. The offense is absolutely broken right now from top to bottom, and no one thing or one person is saving it. It needs to collectively get better, or if it's not going to all get better at once, then parts of it have to get better, right? Like if your line isn't, if your running game isn't going to come back, then God dang it, I need the offensive line and Dak Prescott to go win this thing for me. If Kellen Moore is back in his bag, but my offensive line is not, then Dak and Kellen, y'all need to figure out how to combat the deficiencies on offense. But we need to get something back.
And you know what? My money is on that it's gonna get back. My money is on that it's gonna get back. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was a betting man, my money would be on Dak and Kellen are gonna get things back going in the right direction. I don't see. First of all, those guys are too good. Dak is too good. Kellen is too good for it to continue to go in a I wouldn't even say a downward trend, but kind of like a sideways trend.
Messy.
Really,
yeah, it's real messy.
Yeah, they've been up and down. Like the Raiders game has some highs, has some lows. The Saints game has some highs.
But let's bring context to the offensive situation.
Yes.
It's been what? Since Denver, right? That Denver game started kind of the mash of injuries and the mash of confusion in regards to COVID and things like that, right? So you got about a good month straight where you're having a hard time getting solid practices in with your receivers, with your offensive line. They went into this game on Saturday or on Thursday. We didn't talk about this a lot because we're like, no excuses after the game, but we'll talk about context later. Well, context is they had practice virtually all week. You can't practice virtually all week having not played with your receivers for 2 weeks and expect it to come in and everything to click, right away. The offensive line
totally agree with that.
The offensive line once again did not have back-to-back weeks of the same line. So there is context to this thing being a bit jumbled. That's why I want to see, that 3 games in 12 days is gone. The COVID, everybody's back. 10 days to rest. Let's now get back into a flow. Pick your 5. Your receivers hopefully stay, healthy. So that means your practice reps are important and you get the communication down and we can kind of get back into the flow of things. Because when the team was flowing, there was none of this issues in and out, snip, snap, in regards to the line and the receivers.
Yeah, my money, like I said, man, my money is on that it's going to get back going in the right direction. I think overall the team, the offense got probably a little bit cocky with what happened with Tampa Bay. And what I mean by what happened with Tampa Bay is Dak really didn't practice a lot that leading up to that game, and the offense really still got out there and rolled. And I think they thought that, we can have guys out, we can plug them back in, and we can still roll. But it that was kind of an anomaly, it seems like. And I think, like you said, man, they need the guys to be in there practicing. They need the guys to be in there getting that rhythm. Amari, I don't think Amari practiced all week.
No, he did not. He was in a limited fashion on Wednesday, which is mostly a walkthrough. And so that means Amari missed the last three weeks of practice in 2 games, and then obviously no CD Lamb for 1.5 games or whatever it was. And then a limited quick practice. Because I know it was a week that went by, but let's just be real. That really was a short week. Nothing was normal about going Thursday to Thursday. That's not normal in the NFL.
Oh, no.
So now that it's over with, it's the 10 days are done. You have mostly everybody back healthy offensively, and now you're getting healthy defensively. That's why I have optimism. I'm optimistic because
I am optimistic. I am optimistic. But you win this week, I think that wraps up the East. You win this week, that wraps up the East. We don't really have – you'd have to really go on a downslide at that point. But you win this week, that wraps up the East. Get yourself going on a roll. hopefully one of these teams that's ahead of us, Tampa or really probably just Tampa. I mean,
at this point, Mel, we can't even worry about number 1 seed, bro. We just got to
no, not even number 1 seed. No, that's not realistic. Number 1 seed is not realistic. I won't say not realistic, but I'm gonna say it's kind of far fetched. But I still think we could maybe move up to 3 and maybe or 2 and get out of the 4 spot, so we don't get the Rams that first weekend.
Sure.
That first weekend of the playoffs.
Sure.
Although I think we can handle the Rams. I don't think we can handle anybody.
I'm about to say I ain't trying to sound cocky or anything like that. But if my boys is rolling into the playoffs on a 5-game win streak or something like that, you were healthy. You got the Gregories and the D Laws and the Micahs and the Nevilles and the Tristans, Coop Lamb, Dak. I'm good. Whoever the hell you want to throw
I'm
out
good.
there.
Yeah, exactly. We get rolling. I'm not worried about none of them teams, but I still would like to pass a week resistance. So let's see if we can.
The only place I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I'm not gonna act. I'm not gonna act like we invincible. The only place that I would be like, God damn it, I don't want to go up there, is Lambeau Field.
I do not want to go
January.
there. And my guy, Big Game, he hollering that let's go to Lambeau. I'm like, nah, bro.
because it's kind of poetic. Like you want to go there to get that monkey off your back, and I feel like if you go there and win, then you be like, yo, something special really might be happening this year. But
yeah, let's do that in the 2022 regular season.
But I don't think anybody's going to Lambeau and it's going to be some fun game. It's going to be, it's going to be rough up there in January, man.
You got the weather. To me, we're not a cold weather team. Back in the 2016 team, that was probably what we did. We beat them up there in 16.
We beat them up
but
there.
That was really more.
We beat them up there in September, October. We ain't beat them up there in January. They came into our crib, and beat us.
That's true, because I feel like that team was probably more set up for power. This team right here is kind of, they set up for inside. This Cowboys team, we set up for inside. So, I don't want to go there. But we may not have a that's why I would like to see us move up in those standings a little bit.
Hey, it's still in play. The number 2 or 3 is in play because we're only 1 game behind. I don't know.
We're only 1 game behind.
Yeah, I don't know everybody else's schedule, but it's only 5 left. So you're looking at hoping that they lose 2 of these 5, which the way the NFL has been going is possible. But hey, Mel, let me get to the rest of these callers, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Later.
Appreciate you, man. I believe I had 775 on hold first. 775, what it do?
What's up, Sky? I just wanted to talk about some points. Y'all basically covered it. I was going to talk about how they really did sit everybody but Zeke. Like, he hasn't been healthy since. I think, I don't know what game it was. He fell on the chain, and I'm all like, we're going to sit Zeke. Like, yeah, we're going to sit Zeke 1 or 2 games. Never happened. I don't know what it is with Jerry, why we keep playing them. It doesn't make sense. Right now, I am optimistic because of defense. I'm a defense guy, Sky. Like, I've been waiting for Neville and Osa and D-Law and Randy. I've been waiting for that D-line to come back since.
And that's what I wanted to say. Tell me if I'm crazy. I think I said it before to y'all. I feel like when you get all these guys back together, the Nevilles, the Tristans, the D-Laws, the Randys, Micah, hell, Carlos Watkins is playing good ball this year, y'all. I mean, he's playing good ball. And then you get Dorrance Armstrong and Terrell Basham, who go back to being kind of the reserve roles, can come in there and give you a spark with energy. I just feel like this is a championship caliber front 7 or 6. I made a joke about that. Front 6 if you count just Micah and not LVE. But I just feel like there's a championship caliber talent in front of this secondary, and if they can play complementary football to the secondary, I mean, AB's playing good ball. Jaron Kearse is he not a Pro Bowler this year at strong safety? It feels like he is. Trayvon Diggs is Trayvon Diggs. Jay Lou has his moments, but he also has his games. I feel like there's enough talent in the back end if that front 7 is being nasty. So I feel good about it. I do.
Yeah, so I be watching you watch, and I'm all like, this front seven is elite. We get to the quarterback with just Micah and Gregory, or just Micah, and now D-Law comes back his first game. What do you think is gonna happen when we have that front seven when it's a rotation?
Right.
In the backfield, they're gonna get the interceptions. I just can't wait for that. And with the O-line, I don't know, man. I'm not really an O-line type of guy. I don't know if you could tell me exactly what's going on. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on, but it's just the offense don't look the same without the O-line not performing.
Yeah, that's the damn truth. It's just like I said, it's a collective issue of things, man. But I do think your center left guard exchange has not been fluid for most of the season, and the most fluid it's been has been with Connor Williams. And then you had your issue with Tyron Smith being out. I mean, that, when Tyron's out, it pretty much goes to shit for the most part.
Yeah.
But then you go on the road and you just run up the middle all game, expecting Connor McGovern to just automatically turn into Larry Allen somehow. That is not going to work. So I think there's the collective problem up front that hopefully is resolved when they fix up their five.
So I was gonna ask you, do you think we should look for a center left guard in the draft or in the offseason? What do you think?
I think Biotis has played well enough to he's giving me confidence moving forward. When I say center left guard exchange, I mean the communications. Those guys got to be on point to get to the second level or reach blocks, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think it's been good. But I think Tyler Biotis has played individually better. I missed a couple blocks in the Saints game, but for the most part, he's played well over the last a month and a half. Left guard, if they can definitely draft one. And like I said, I've seen Connor McGovern. To me, he's kind of a reserve. So if they want to draft one long term, they can. Or they can slide LC over there next year, roll with Terrence Steele at right tackle, and let's boogie.
Okay, and my last thing is I feel like besides Micah, our linebackers are not playing as great. I mean, like LVE slower. I mean, I was really happy for Jabril Cox. When Jalen Smith got out, I thought he was going to give him, more reps. Man. I thought. I did too. I was like, that's going to be perfect. But, yeah, I'm going to go, and thanks. I watch you all the time, Sky. I appreciate you.
Appreciate your call, man, your support. Thank you. Yeah, the linebackers have been probably the most disappointing unit on this team, not including Mike Parsons. It's to the point now, man, where LVE makes Keanu Neal look amazing at middle linebacker. I think he needs to sit down. What my guy Jesse say, that pine would change your mind. I love that saying. They need to sit down, LVE. Let's see what Gifford can do. I don't care if it's been done. Can you get worse? Can you get worse? I don't think so. Let's see what happens, man. I'm not a fan of Keanu Neal playing the middle linebacker spot all the time, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating. I think they'll draft some guys in the offseason. Jabril Cox will be back. Hopefully, I have optimism that he'll be back by August. But even then, that's missing half a training camp. So you still need to bring guys in, bring some vets in, things like that. But and Tom said, let's see the defensive line first before we anoint them. You're right. And I'm definitely bringing out the anointing oil and things like that. This is more of an optimistic approach. This isn't a definite type thing because we don't know, right? We definitively don't know if this front seven with all the guys back will be great. But just from the individual pieces that I've seen this year between Tristan Hill and his 2 games back, we've seen that spark. We've seen that get off, that hustle. Tristan's been good since he's been back. We know what Mike is. We know what Randy is. We know what D-Lo. All those guys are elite. If I told you, Tom, you got 3 elite players in your front 7. That's a start to being a championship front 7. And then you pair it with guys like Neville, who showed you last year once he got his feet going that he can be a factor. Tristan, who has the talent. Terrell Basham, who has always been a productive role player as a rusher. Dorrance is having a good career year. Carlos Watkins. Randy Watson. Not Carlos Watkins, ladies and gentlemen. Sexual chocolate. Nah, like Carlos Watkins is playing well. So it just feels like one of those fronts that you get to the playoffs, they do some damage, and next thing you know, we're talking about, that was the reason why the defense kind of, got itself together. Sean said, man, it's going to be crazy seeing everybody back on defense. Yeah, I'm excited for it. CJ know what I'm talking about. Los, man. We got Los, the DJ, and Brandon. What's up, Los?
Yo, what up, Sky? What up? God bless, man. Hope the morning's good.
It's good, brother. I hope your morning is well, too.
Man, all good here, man. Just wanted 3 quick things, like always, and then I'll get you to it, man. First thing is Cowboys, I'm not worried about them. Like I said, they're barely getting back healthy, and they're still going to clean up some things on drop passes. And I'm looking at Kellen Moore especially. He has to be a better play caller as of lately. Sorry for my dog if you hear.
I hear it.
Okay, but both sides of the ball, basically. Like, Dan Quinn, I don't know if it's me, but in my personal eye, I feel like the defense has been playing better than the offense has been lately. And I'm okay with that, because I just feel this offense will just get back to where they were in the beginning of the year. And that's why I'm like saying, if the Cowboys were to catch fire on offense and on defense, man, the league better watch out. Cause like I said, I wasn't born in the 90s, so I did I didn't see the 3 Super Bowls they won. But it's just like that 90s team. That defense was so overlooked. They were all focused on the offense, and the defense had a spot of their own, like Ken Norton.
Boy, that defense was. Listen, bro.
I forgot the other.
We ain't sniffing that D though at this point. I mean, the defense of the 90s was exceptional. There was talent literally littered across that defense. But I get what you're saying. You're saying they may have not been as appreciated as some of the other historical defenses, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. And then we got players like Randy coming back. Just Randy by himself he can cause havoc. You can imagine this, man. You got Randy, D-Law, Micah, and who's in Carlos Watkins up in the middle. Tristan Hill's been playing good as of lately, trying to go at the quarterback.
Fam,
good luck.
I didn't even bring up Osa, right? Like I talked about, like Osa don't have to play 40 snaps now. Osa can give you 15 really good, hard snaps, right? And that's just going to make things better for that rotation.
Exactly. And then on the offense, I want to put everything on Dak. I always said coaching is half of what you see on the field, and the other half is the execution. I'm not a fan of them, but damn, I hate those damn Patriots. Belichick is like a genius at what he does. Coaching matters in NFL. Like, if you see these players coming wide open, it's not just because, I'm better than you. It's scheme. You got to know where the other players, and you got to put them at the best position and win. So, like I said, the other caller hit on the note. Kellen Moore, I'm not worried about him. He's just going to get better over time. He just got to go back to the lab. And Cooper,
I am worried
he's going to go back to Cooper.
I am worried about
Cooper's going back to Cooper. Yep. And then my second thing is Michael for MVP is the MVP of the team right now.
You glossed over that, huh? You glossed over that. I'm worried about Kellen Moore.
Go ahead.
I'm worried about him, man. Why ain't you worried about him? What has he showed you in the last month and a half that makes you not worried?
Well, I'm not worried, one, because I feel like, okay, this is where I critiqued him. Can he be a better play caller with the pieces he has had and not stick to one thing? Absolutely. But I just feel like I'm not trying to do a conspiracy theory, but if Mike McCarthy does have a say in this team, I don't know, maybe it's half on half, but
wait. So you're saying Mike is
not saying he has offense control, but I feel like Kellen relies on hey, Mike McCarthy, are we gonna go with what are we gonna do with it right now? Like, what are we gonna try to do?
Here's why I'm worried.
And I feel like that's what.
Los, here's why I'm worried, Los. He's not shown that same ability to adapt that he did at the beginning of the year. I get it. Players are out. But I think that's when you adapt even more. And that's what worries me. When all these horses are back, I've said this for a whole decade of Jason Garrett. If the horses are there, this offense is going to hum. That's any damn offensive coordinator, in my opinion. But when you when a player or so is out, can you then adapt? Can you win a game on coaching? And I don't know that I've seen that over the last month when the Cowboys have been hampered. I have not seen the ability to adapt. It's been kind of, all right, Dak, all right, Zeke, all right, offensive line, go do your thing. I just haven't seen that adaptation. So that's where I'm worried about Kellen, maybe more so long-term than this year because we're going to get those guys back. But long-term, if you can't adapt when your horses are out, that worries me because are you going to be able to adapt in-game? Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to sound selfish. But if that's the case, I'll count it as a bonus because if that other teams are saying that, then let us keep Kellen because, maybe his stock has went down as a head coach because when you go somewhere else, you won't have the pieces that you have here in Dallas. I say that for a fact. We'll save
the Kellen what to do with him in the offseason because I definitely think stock. I mean, maybe not as a head coach, but as a play caller, let's put a hold on it. We had to put a hold on it because this run. Listen, there's a lot, and I don't want to make this all about Kellen. He's definitely got some proving to do over the next 6 games or 8 games, whatever it's going to be. But go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, he'll prove it to you, Scott. Just watch. I really feel like he'll come on fire. These Knicks going to the playoffs.
I root for him, man.
But yeah, you will. But Micah for MVP, like I said, man, like he has a chance of being a rookie and a defensive player of the year. Like I'm gonna tell you some stats, all right? And you're gonna
make it quick.
Okay, so sack 10, 14, QB hits 25, 28, tackles for loss 16, 15, and forced fumbles 2 and 0.
That's Myles Garrett. Yeah, I seen that floating around. Yeah, listen, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, kind of maybe jokingly, but not really. Micah Parsons needs to be involved in the defensive MVP conversation. It's not even a joke anymore. This dude just constantly, when he steps out on the field, is an impact player at a high level.
So yeah, sorry for taking so much of the time, but like I said, this offense is going to clean itself up. Don't worry about Kellen. Go Cowboys. I have them winning 4 of the last 5, finishing at 12-5. And let's see where that gets us.
You got us losing to the Cardinals, don't you?
All right.
Oh yeah, he hung up. Listen, I need these boys to win all 5. I do. There's been checkmark games we talked about, a ton of them. For the most part, they've been successful in those. But there's 3 statement games on this calendar, on this schedule. So far, they're 0-2. The third statement game is against the Arizona Cardinals, and I need them to win that one. A lot of people just chalking it off. Lose to the Cardinals. 4-1 down the stretch, 5-1, lose to the Cardinals. No. No. I need the Cowboys to beat one of these dang contenders like that so I can go into the playoffs with my chest out even more because I'm just keeping it a bean. You lose to Tampa, you lose to Kansas City, and you lose to Arizona. The fan in me is like, yeah, I'm excited for the playoffs, but then the realistic person in me says, but damn, we ain't beat a playoff team like that yet. And we're about to play a bunch of them. Unless you get the number 2 seed and you play Washington or something. So just for my confidence level to be even higher, I want them to beat the Cardinals, man. I want to chalk that up. Why? You might see them in the playoffs. Beat them boys. Or at least play them. Beat them. I'm just leave it at that. Beat them. DJ, what's up, DJ?
Hey, what's going on, Scott? How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Hey, so what I was looking into, man, was I think going into this week with if we can carry that momentum from the Saints game, sometimes you just need a jump start. Yes, it was Taysom Hill. Yes, they were decimated on the offensive line and Alvin Kamara. But as far as just getting the flow, like, hey, sometimes you just need, the generals to kind of come up and have a cleanup game, so to speak. Yeah. So I think defensively, I hope with everybody coming back and everybody getting in stride, they're about to start rocking, and that defense can start being something that we haven't seen in a long, long time. Up to this point, they already have been, but hopefully that, we can take that next step from, hey, they're really, really good to like, hey, this is the top 5, top 3 defense in the league. And I see the potential there. It just has to be put out on the field. With Washington, I'm not. Yeah, man. Actually, to kind of reinforce that point, I think with the rotation that we can have with the defensive linemen, we just got to get somebody that we can put next to Micah, and then that back end is starting to look really, really solid. As long as it's based on if Boss Man can be who we hope he is. If that's the case, then yes, they definitely have that potential. With Washington, it's never a clean game, and that's the only thing that it has. Gives me any kind of cause for pause. They play us rough. It's a division game, and not that stereotypical division game. It's like we always beat them, but it's never how we want to beat them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, I think there's actually something I've been wanting to ask you. Is there any chance, because when it comes to coaching and play calling and all that kind of stuff, you are who you are, like creativity and all of that kind of stuff, that doesn't go away. Right? You just stop doing things because you're either told to or it's obvious that it doesn't work what you're trying to do, so you try to change it up and you stop doing things. The problem with Kellen is that the stuff he was doing was working, and now he's doing zero of it. Is there any chance that he's like, hey, we're going to be in the playoffs? I want to say I don't want to put all this stuff on film so people are prepared for my stuff. Like, yeah, in the wild card round or the first division round, if they get the first seed just by chance somehow, you're going to put it on film. But is there any chance that he's saving that stuff for the playoff?
That would be awful.
You know what I mean?
That would be terrible coaching, and you don't do that. You're not in the playoffs. Why would you save? You're not in the playoffs. You need to get to the playoffs first before you talk about saving something for the playoffs. And a lot of the things, the creativity, I'm not asking for him to be cute. We've seen him be cute a ton. There are subtle creative things you can do as a play caller. And you're right, though. You would think, right? Like if it's in your nature to be who you are, it doesn't just go away. Either you're forced to stop via somebody above you, or it's not working, like you said. I don't know why that things seem to clamp up on the road for Kellen in regards to that. It's just more so, all right, maybe it's the crowd noise. Maybe, like I said, the lack of communication. Maybe it's the offensive line doesn't trust on the road. But the offense, 9 times out of 10, usually looks different on the road than it does at home. And I don't mean like most around the league, right? You're probably worse on the road. But I just mean the design, the play, the flow. Everything seems much, much more conservative to me on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, just because, as from the coaches that I've had and all that kind of stuff, like, it doesn't make any sense because, like, even the Hulk package and all that stuff that he's been doing, like, we're not getting any we're not getting any of that. So yeah. I don't know what's happening there, and it just doesn't make sense. That's why I wanted to be like, hey, is there any chance that that's happening or what? Because it's just gone, and it doesn't. Like, I've never seen anybody do that. Like, you usually are who you are, especially at this point in the season, but you don't regress either. So I'm a little confused. And that's what I'm hoping. Like, at least that would make sense to me. It'd be a terrible decision to make, but at least it makes sense. You're like, well, we are in the NFC East, and, we don't have to worry about we're in the division. So even if we don't get the 1 seed, we'll still be there, blah, blah, blah. But, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. That's the only concerning thing for me because it's just completely evaporated and it's non-existent now.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough way to coach it, man. Tough way to coach it. Hey, but I appreciate you calling in, DJ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
The horses are back now, though, and I don't think we are going to run into these. I would hope not. these same issues with the horses back. And I hate that I'm even having to say this because I'm reminded of my Scott Linehan JG days. Those boys is playing. I ain't care they was calling it because I knew the offense can hum. The flow was the issue, but they're back, so we should be cool. My fear comes when if one of those guys goes down, can we adjust? Can we adjust? All right, man. I'm gonna get Tony from Tampa. My fault, not Tony from Tampa. I had Brandon on hold. Brandon and Tony didn't let me take. Tony, what's going on, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm sorry, Brandon. Brandon.
Yeah. What's good with you, Scott?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I just had a couple things to kind of piggyback off of, what you were just talking about real quick. When it comes to the offense, man, I just think that, Kellen Moore just has to be the same guy that he's been in the beginning of the year. It's something that Nick Eaton used to always say. When these teams, he would be critical of Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan when they would have a good play, and then he would be like, "Oh, we're gonna outsmart everybody, and we're not gonna run it again for 9 games." And it's like when plays work, especially these plays that you drew up, you can run the begin in a couple games. You don't have to put it in the tuck for 8-9 games. For instance, the play that they ran against Carolina, that was on all the highlights on all the sports shows when they did the play action and the fake to Zeke, and then he went to the flats and he went in for a touchdown. I believe that was Carolina,
that was
right?
The Giants.
Was that the Giants? I have not seen that play or anything out of a different formation to get the same. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anything similar to that play since the play that they ran against the Saints. It was a good design where they had CeeDee Lamb come around and he faked the flat and he was supposed to go up the seam and play it inside, which is where Dak threw the ball, but Zeke played it outside. That play worked. That play is a touchdown if Zeke just looks, if he runs the seam instead of the corner.
Hold on, which one? Which play is this?
You remember the fourth and I think it was like 4th and 2
against
when
the
they
Saints?
were on the Saints. Yeah, and
that was CeeDee Lamb.
And right, he ran the wrong route. He was supposed to run the seam, but he was facing the corner.
That's one of those things where miscommunication came in, right? You didn't practice with the guy all week type thing. I personally think I love the play call, but I think what happened was players got in the way and CD had to adjust. And because of the cornerback that was on the outside shoulder of Lamb, correctly so, Dak throws it on the inside. But instead of CD turning inside, he turned outside, and that messed it up. But I don't even think that could be listen, good play call, but I think we got a little bit too cute. He didn't even have to motion CD Lamb because that play actually worked against the who was it? Against the Patriots for the game winner. It was the very same play, except for this time.
We can't have it both ways.
CD came from behind, where if he would have just stayed over the top, Dak would have had 3 legitimate options. The reason why he had to reroute is CD came underneath and was going to run into the tight end, so he had to reroute upfield. I just think
so
the play broke down.
You feel like the motion brought him to the coverage?
No. I think the motion is okay design if I think you're maybe backed up further or if there's better communication. The motion I think ended up him running into Schultz. If you go back and look, I guarantee you they probably don't do that again because unless they practice it in a way where Schultz is out of the way. But if you go back and watch, CD Lamb came, it wasn't even really a motion. It was just kind of the snap motion is what I call it. At the snap, he came behind the line of scrimmage and almost ran into Schultz, but he had to go upfield. Had he just did a regular over route, you would have had a traditional high-low style. But nonetheless, that was a good play call. I ain't even mad at the play call, just miscommunication.
Yeah. All right, and the next thing is that, when it comes to the running game, I'm not really surprised that the Cowboys are struggling in the running game, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Since when has Joe Philbin ever been the league's top offensive line coach?
Whoa, Brandon.
No, he's never. No, hold on. Let me tell you, I'm talking about when has he been known for his running scheme? How many 1,000-yard rushers under Green Bay were under Joe Philbin.
Time out. Joe Philbin don't call the plays over there. He's not the run game coordinator. He's just the offensive line coach.
Yeah, the offensive line coach is who who comes with the scheme.
That's not true. Scheme, yes, but they don't necessarily responsible for the running game. They're not always responsible for the running game. Let me tell you something. Joe Philbin is most and I promise you this, and I can confirm it with you by asking some folks in the league. I promise you he's one of the most respected offensive line coaches in the league. That's not even up for debate.
But his running scheme right now is out. It's not working.
Bro.
And we're still running the. Do you think everybody's on Kellen Moore for continuing to run these dive plays and ramming up the middle, right?
How do we account for running for number one rushing team in the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season?
They weren't running these same plays. I'm talking about the plays that they're running now. Like, my thing is, if you're the offensive line coach, you know what's working and what your unit is.
Can you explain to me how Joe Philbin, who was a part of this first 7 games, are you saying he had his coaching is not partly responsible for the way the offensive line was playing at the beginning of the year?
No, I'm not talking about that they weren't playing at the beginning of the year. I'm talking about right now. Why are they continuing to run these games up front?
He's not calling the plays, Brandon.
Yeah, but he should be going to Kellen Moore saying, "Hey, Brandon, why are they still in the game plan?"
He's been out for 3 weeks. You do know that, right?
But he's still communicating. Like I play O-line and D-line, and I'm telling you this, and I'm sure you know too. You play ball too. Brandon. If your offensive line coach goes up to your coordinator and says, we want to take this out of the game plan. This is not effective. This is not effective against this front or that front. I promise you.
You're severely
not going in the game plan.
Severely underestimating the importance of an O-line coach on game day and in practice and in game preparation. Severely under. Most people would tell you.
No, I'm not.
Well, if he's not around for, if he's not around for 3 weeks, then how you can't. You can't listen, man. Listen, I just disagree. I don't want to argue with you back and forth. I think Joe Philbin is a fantastic offensive line coach. I don't think Joe Philbin is responsible for the way this team runs the ball. That is a Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy thing. So that's where I see it. I don't think it's Joe Philbin. I mean, most people would agree Joe Philbin is a fantastic offensive line coach.
All right, and the last thing I just wanted to get with you, man, I'm excited about the defense, man. You know, as far as the potential of the defense.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys go anywhere, man, honestly, it's going to be said Dak, but it's going to be because of this defense. When was the last time, as a Cowboys fan, or as long as you've been covering the Cowboys, have you been able to say, you know what, I'm excited about what we can potentially do from a defensive standpoint? For me, from a front, I don't want to say front 4 standpoint, but front 7, I haven't been this excited for a while, man. And I think that if they do anything in the playoffs, it's going to be because of this defense and the things that they can do going forward. For me, that's just what I think. And Dak is going to be asked to make 2 to 3 throws a game, and those throws could be leading to points. And that's the kind of game that I want to play going down the stretch. Lean on the defense. They're going to be healthy. They're just missing Brent Urban.
Lean on I don't know that, but lean. But I agree with you that the defense. I'm laughing because you said when was the last time you could say I'm excited about the defense? Man, you want me to be real? The real answer is I feel like every other year I'd be like, oh man, I'm kind of excited about the defense, and then they go out there and they trash. But this year, but no, I promise y'all, this time I'm for real. I'm excited about this defense for real this time. No, but I agree with you, man. I think this again, and that's why I was saying it feels like it's kind of a championship front, because I feel like if you don't have a front, I don't give a damn who's in the back end, just flat out. And one of the problems we had going into the postseason a couple years, right, is we just didn't have a really good front. We had a bunch of Jags up there that we were relying on. When you have to rely on Jags, that's a problem. Now we got dogs. We got elite players up front, and I think elite players rise up in those moments. And you only have 3 games till you get to the bowl, sometimes 2. So if you can just hunker down for 3 games, I feel like your elite players can raise their level. and then that's going to raise the guys around you. So, and then now we have a secondary that I think is pretty damn good secondary. So you combine all that together, I'm with you. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, facts, man. All right, man. I don't want to take too much of your time, man. Have a good one, bro.
Great call, man. All right, we're going to get Tony from Tampa, 225, and we're going to end it with the lunatic. What's up, Tony?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on with you, man? You driving safe?
Hey, man, the day is mine. I'm sipping on my Cowboys cup in the palm trees and sunshine, baby. You know how I go. No, I'm waiting on something right now, man. Yeah, man, but I believe you hit it right on the head, man. Earlier I was listening to you, man, and you were saying that everybody's starting to come back. That timing, it takes time for y'all them being in there to build that chemistry back, man. Like the first 6 games after Tampa, them CeeDee Lamb, we ain't had Gallup, but CeeDee Lamb and all them, they had time to gel together. They had time to get that timing. Dak had that timing. And, when Dak came back, he had to get all that timing. It takes time to get that timing back, man. It takes time to get that, you know what I'm saying? To get back in the rhythm and the groove of everything, man. Even the offensive line.
For sure.
Like, it takes time, to get that rhythm, to get the gel and get that rhythm back, man. And, everybody think it's going to happen overnight. It's got to happen this week, but.
No, we talked about that earlier. We said, initially no one wants to hear all that crap, right? It's just results, right? But then as the weeks go on, the days go on, you start talking about context, and context leading up these last 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks, it's been rough on them boys. But now, listen, they should be getting whole. So now, hopefully, we can get some rhythm.
Yeah, going. We getting everybody back. Gregory got to get back in the groove. It takes time, man, for everybody to. Even though like y'all said, man, I'm excited to see everybody back this year because it's the first time they all really together. Gregory, D-Law, and Parsons, and everybody together this week coming up, and we need it against Washington. You know what I mean? Because this one right here, I think this is the most important game right here. In the division right here. This is the most hated anyway for me. I can't stand them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of old school fans, Washington is their most hated rival. For me, it's the Eagles, but I equally hate all of them. But I have this different vitriol for the Eagles. Man, my brother a Redskin fan, my dad a Redskin fan, all the family members, man, my aunt, I can't stand them, man. I can't. We go to war this week right here. This is the week we talk junk to each other, man. I've been talking junk too. I ain't gonna lie. I try to keep it calm this year, man. But I've been talking junk a little bit this week, so I hope my boys, don't let me down.
Hey, man, that's
I gotta hear that all week. You know what I mean?
It's the rivalry, man. You allowed to, and you should be.
Yeah.
But the Washington fans, they getting a little frisky because they're on a 4-game winning streak, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Just like I told my man.
Yeah, they talking junk, boy.
Just be here on next Monday. That's all. Be here next Monday.
Yeah, man, but it takes time to gel, man. It takes time. Everybody got to relax. Man, Kellen Moore, though, he got to get back on his bag, man. He got to get back. Come on, man. Everybody know, man. He need to tighten up, man. And I hopefully with everybody back this week, and with it being on the line for real, I think I think he'll get back together, man. But it takes time. Everybody panicking. Everybody, hey, man, Dak doing this, and it takes time for him to get his timing back with these people that have been out, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all, man. That's all I want to contribute to today,
All right, man. I appreciate it, Tony. And you drive safe out there,
all
bro.
right, man.
Keep talking that trash.
Hey, shout out to the first Cowboy fan over here, man. Shout out to him, man.
Keep going. That was silly, man. That was silly.
All right, man.
All
right, bro.
225 and then the Lunatics in the South. What's up, 225?
Man, it was good, bro. Just wanted to run some stuff to you.
Sure.
And see how you felt about it. I think that this game is going to be. I think the Cowboys win, but I think it's going to be like a kind of close, sloppy game. Just kind of looking at the weather that we got down there in Landover, Maryland. It looks like it's going to be a high of 50 and close to rain.
It's an ugly field too, ain't it?
Yeah. So it would be great if we could lean on that running game, but it's hard to run in between the tackles. On Washington, they got those two big boys from Alabama down there. So hopefully, we can get.
When we break it down, bro, the matchup, that's why I kind of want Williams back in. The matchup I am worried about is McGovern in the run game against any of those interior, including Ioannidis. He's just not good right now. But, yeah, that worries me.
Right. So hopefully we can get some creative play calling, get some runs to the outside or something, kind of mix it up a little bit. Also, I just kind of looking at recently with Dak, and he kind of said this in his post-game press conference after the Saints game. I think I really want my boy to kind of take what the defense give him a little bit. He kind of got like a little Patrick Mahomes in him, where he kind of like to take shots down the field and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny if you remember before John Kitna started working with him, Dak, he was, I don't want to say dinking Dak, but he didn't like throwing the ball downfield. His arm talent wasn't there yet.
Boy, he was one of the best deep ball throwers by the time 28. Once Coop got here, he was dropping them things in the bucket. He was still dropping them things in the bucket.
Hey, and that's what. But I think that's when John Kitna was there. Go ahead.
Well, he's been his deep throw. I ain't really up. Here's the thing with Dak. You're absolutely right. And we talked about this at the beginning of the show. He said he was being greedy. He always trying to score 14 on one play. Just chill. You know what I mean? Just chill, bro. Just matriculate down the field. I think what he's trying to do is overcompensate for the lack of a running game, and that's a problem. He's got your quarterback who's trying to do everything and just chill. Sometimes if you only if you got to kick a field goal, you got to kick a field goal. If you got to punt it, you got to punt it. But what you don't want to do is put your team in a bad situation because you're trying to overcompensate. Now, when you have to, you have to. You ain't got no choice to, right? Fourth quarter or whatever. But you kind of want to stick to the plan if you can. But the problem is, man, the plan ain't been working. So it's kind of a catch-22. They got to figure it out. And I think they will. But you're absolutely right. He even said it. I'm being greedy.
Right, yeah. So hopefully they can kind of edge some. They got 10 days. Hopefully they can kind of get some of that stuff straight. Another thing, just looking at Washington's offense, I think Taylor Heineke to me is kind of like a mix between like a Jared Goff and a Taysom Hill. And I say that because you kind of watch him play out, watch some of those condensed games on YouTube, and that head don't move. He's a one-read quarterback. That head don't move that much. If his first read is open, he's accurate, he can get it there. And if it's not, you'll see him take off and run. You'll see design runs for him, which is why I'm excited.
He's a take-off guy. He ain't no Taysom Hill guy. He'll take
off.
Well,
I guess what I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. So what I'm excited for is since we have Randy that should be coming back and D-Law that should be coming back, Micah Parsons being able to play linebacker and kind of spy him or at least keep on him. And one thing that we've noticed is that all of these quarterbacks underestimate Micah's closing speed. And it's like when they realize it, it's always too late. Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Taysom Hill, like they all underestimate just how quick Micah can close. And I'm pretty sure Heineke it's going to be the same thing with him next week. So I'm very excited about that. Also kind of looking at Gibson, he kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, a really patient running back. Like, will just kind of wait. He's not like a Tony Pollard where it's just like you give him the ball and or Joseph Randle and he's just like boom, right through the hole, accelerate. He's kind of patient, will let his blocks develop and then just try to, get through him and get upfield and stuff like that. A hard guy to bring down for a tackle for loss, but I'm really excited to kind of see Micah and them get up in there and kind of go against him and that Washington football team offensive line. So I expect the Cowboys to win this game because we have the better quarterback. I expect Washington to kind of come out there and play us like these other teams have played us, where they kind of play a lot of man coverage, a lot of press coverage, and probably some cover two up top to keep Dak from going deep. But overall, I think, we have the more talented roster, the better quarterback, and we should win this game.
Yeah, we'll break down the breakdown of the Redskins or the Washingtons will be the rest of the week. So we'll get to all that. I'm not really gonna break it down right this moment though. But yeah.
Okay, right on. All right, then, Skywalker, I'll holler at you, bro.
Hey man, appreciate the call as always. All right, the Lunatic, send us out, man.
Sky, Cowboys Nation, buenos dias. How is everybody feeling this fine Monday morning? I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend of football.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, Sky?
Yes, sir, man. Good morning. What's up with you, man?
Listen, a wise man once, well, I think I read it or somebody told me, an older head than me. I ain't that too much of an old head, but he said, you want to change your world, change your perspective. And with McCarthy out, first of all, hope he and his family, because I know his family was also, somebody in his family was infected with COVID. Hope everybody recovers well and has a speedy recovery. But when you change your perspective, you can change your world. And I think McCarthy, looking at the game from his hotel room or from his home or wherever he's watching it, he's going to go to Kellen Moore and say, hey, listen, try this, let's do this, because sometimes you're so close to something, you miss the obvious. It's not until you take a step back or have somebody else with a fresh pair of eyes tell you the obvious, and you'll be like, God damn, why did I not see that? Why is it that we're not running to the outside? And that way he can go to Zeke and say, look, we love you, Zeke. We are going to feed Zeke in the playoffs, but we're going to try to get you as close to 100% as we can right now until we do that, because it's obvious. Last night, I was switching between Law and Mauro's stream. And by the way, Sky, we need those Mauro emojis. Whoever's on that, who do I need a cash app to get me those Mauro emojis, my man? And one thing,
we'll get some.
Yeah, and one thing you could see obvious from the film was Zeke, the difference in Zeke's running style. And it's just because of injury, all those carries, all those hits, they do take a toll on the body. So we just need what do they call it in the NBA? Player management, load management. That's what we need to do.
That's what he called it at the beginning of the year, load management, and they're not doing that.
Exactly. Now, sometimes, again, when you take a step back and you see it, and you see that, wait, again, another 2-yard run, again, a middle going nowhere, and you have Cousin Tony, who is one of the highest-rated PFF running backs, but nobody thinks about him because we don't give him any carries.
And that's my issue with, like, Kellen's smart. Kellen, he can draw them up. He can dial it up in regards to the plays. Like, I don't worry about a specific play, but being part of a play call, and this is what I had this conversation with Ted, and that's why I said maybe we have to talk off air. It's not always about the cool, dope design play. It's all sometimes about the flow, right? How you call it, when you call it, and with whom you call it with. And there was this weird-ass stubbornness to just hand the ball to 21 when that was not just Thursday. For the last 3-4 weeks, bro, handing the ball to 21 has been malpractice. And if he really had that kind of pull, the Lunatic, or had that kind of, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, he wouldn't be giving him the ball that much. I'm going to just be real. Because it's not been doing anything good for the Cowboys. So, I like what Okoye says about Kellen. Kellen, he's not a bad coordinator or anything like that. Like, he'll get back he'll be cool once the horses get back. But he's a beta. And he plays the game and calls the game that way. And I love that. He's not an alpha, he's a beta.
And hopefully with those fresh set of eyes, I mean, we've got enough offensive consultants. We've got our QB coach, Nussmeier, used to be an offensive coordinator. We got McCarthy. We got that, what is the former, his name eludes me now, the former New York coach who's an offensive McAdoo used to call plays. So we have enough people that can go to him and say, hey, what about this? What about this? Why is that not happening? Hopefully McCarthy, because, again, it's been one fire after another these past couple of games.
Yeah.
3 games in, 12 days?
And if I'm not mistaken, I think McCarthy went on air and addressed not having any versatility in the run game. So I think he low-key, I don't want to say called him out, but he answered the question, and I'm going to go back and listen to the answer. But I think it was more of a, yeah, it's something we're going to address. He even notices that, yeah, hey, bruh, what are we doing here? So I think he'll clean it up. Again, he's a smart kid, and you're about to get the horses back. He went through a stretch, and let's just be real. He went through a stretch where it was head scratching.
And one of those, I guess, choices that we're going to have to make, well, it was obvious this week because Steele was out with COVID. Now what are they going to do at the right tackle again? Keep Collins or go to Steele? But either way, I mean, DeMarcus Law said he was on a pitch count. He played more snaps. Dan Quinn said he was playing so well, we forgot about that pitch count. The one that was on a pitch count was Amari Cooper. We had 70 offensive plays.
Well, they said he would.
He had around 20 plays.
They said he would be, though, and rightfully so. Amari Cooper is coming back is different than what D-Law was coming back from, right? Like, Coop literally had his whole respiratory system, messed up, and they couldn't afford to have him running out there for 50, 60 plays, so he only played a few. But I think once he gets back his win back right, he should be back in there good to go.
Yeah, and Washington is coming off a 4-game win streak, but really that game should have been lost when the safety we coveted, we were going to pick in the second round, Morig from TCU, he dropped that pick 6. It was in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
The game would have been over.
I forgot about that play.
So they would have been coming off a loss, but neither here nor there. But it's interesting how the Washington fans, they go ahead and tough road win against the Raiders, barely squeaking it out, and they're chanting, "We want Dallas, we want Dallas." They should be chanting, "We want a damn name" before they mention us. But they always want Big D in their mouths, But listen, we over here, tough double-digit road win against New Orleans, and we're saying, "Oh my God, we're gonna suck." It's all about perspective. I just want to win in December. Keep the momentum going.
People still talking about. But that's the thing. That's why I said, Lunatic, give it a few days, enjoy this weekend, and come back Monday, and everybody should be in a better mood than they were on Friday. I totally get the raw emotions after the game, in the morning after. It wasn't pretty, things like that. I totally get it. It's Monday now, y'all. We 8-4. Nobody's going to go back and be like, yeah, the Cowboys are 13-4, but in week 13, they only beat the Saints by 17 or 10 points. Should have been 17. By 10. No one's going to do all that crap. So that game is in the past now, regardless of how it finished. And now we're about to move on to Washington and moving forward.
Yes, but it's going to be a fun week. Yes, I'm one of the old heads again. I do remember Washington, and they would love to beat us in the 80s because it was a slugfest. Oh, my God. But recently, I keep telling them, hey, a rivalry has to be you win some, we win some. It hasn't been a rivalry recently. And now we got Dak back, so let's.
Well, if it's what have you done for me lately? They swept us last year. So I hope the boys are coming into this game and the fans with this revenge on their mind. Dak pretty much owns those guys, but he's 7-1, I believe, in his career against them. Maybe it's 2 losses, but he's pretty much won majority of the games against Washington. And he'll be playing, but they got to go out there and play it, though, right?
They got to go out there. It's a division. No matter what, it's a division game. We could be 2-15, but as long as we beat division teams, in my mind, I'll be all right. I'll have bragging rights till next year. But I know fans want more, and that's what we deserve because it's been too damn long. Sky, thank you very much. Cowboys Nation, hey, revenge week. You tell them, keep calling me, keep texting me because your team would still swap places with us because we still them boys. Thank you very much, Sky. Have a great one, Cowboys Nation. Puro pinche Cowboys.
Hey, have a good Monday, the Lunatic. Hey, Don, or Vaughn. Vaughn said, I love my boys and the players. It just burns. It just burns my balls when we have these Fisher-Price Cowboy fans that want to get rid of everyone when they make a bad play or have bad games. Fisher-Price Cowboy fans. I ain't ever heard that one. I might have to take that one. Shout out to you. Was it Jubo? I'm going to just call you Jubo. Jubo. Yeah, we're going to do that. Jubo.
Super chat.
With the super chat. He says, last 3 games, the Cowboys have not converted more than 5 third downs. Yes. So that's another one. Third down has been really bad down for the Cowboys. That's it's crazy, man. This offense has been so different. First 7 weeks, they were the best third down team in football. Last 5 or 6 weeks, they've been horrible. I'm pretty sure if they're not the worst, they're down there in the bottom 5. But yeah, man, third down offense needs to get back. Because there was times where I was like, all right, whatever, second and long, third and long. I just felt like, so what, will convert, because we have a potent offense and a potent passing offense. But of late, everything has just been made more difficult for whatever reason. So hopefully they get back to being that dominant. Which, if we ask the panel or the coach, not the coaches, the fans, Twitter, whatever, what side of the ball do you have more long-term belief in? Meaning, I should say short-term, but more season-term belief in, offense or defense? I think 90% of you guys, if not 99%, would say a team with Coop, Lamb, CD, Tyron, Zeke, TP, Zach Martin, Lyell, Steele, right? Dak, and Kellen at the helm. You'd probably feel a lot, like, really confident in that offense moving forward. And that's kind of what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to the fact that all those guys will be back. And you got a good quarterback. And you got great players. So I feel confident that this offense will get it together, man. 100%. If you would have asked me, offense or defense with those boys, it's offense. They're going through a slump, though. I mean, they're going through a slump. Good chance to get out of it. A really good chance to get out of it. We'll break down in Washington's this week. They got some good defensive players. They're without their best defensive player in Chase Young. But there are kinks, just like there's kinks in everybody's armor. There's kinks in that armor. And they did play the Raiders very well yesterday. They're going to come in playing hungry. They're playing for something, and they're coached well. Ron Rivera is a good coach. So we'll break it all down. We'll have Okoye on later in the week to do our weekly breakdown of the squad. In the meantime, in between time, I'll be here every morning to talk about it up until the Okoye breakdown. So I want to say tomorrow we'll start. Maybe we'll get into the storylines. Maybe we'll start tomorrow with some of the storylines. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we'll go full offense, defense. We'll do that. All right, yeah. Dwayne says Dak wasn't in either game last year. Revenge for Dak and the boys for Sunday. Yeah. Them Washington fans were so hyped to beat Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci. Let's remember that, right? And that game wasn't out of hand until that happened. I still never felt that Andy Dalton was going to do something. But especially when you had Terrence Steele and who do we have out there at that? I don't even remember. Brandon Knight or somebody was out there. It was bad. It was all bad last year. Man. But all right, guys, man, y'all have been great today. Let me press this button, man, as we get up out of here. Y'all have been great. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the comments here. Everyone that hit that like button, everyone that hit that subscribe button, and the donations. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all tune in later tonight. Mauricio Rodriguez will be back, A to Z Sports Prime Time, and check out our wonderful writers on A to Z Sports Dallas.com. Appreciate y'all. Until tomorrow. Peace.
I want me some glory hole.